Hello! Probably a relatively quick one today. As you can see, we're trying a new format. Hope you like the face. There will be more to follow with expressions, but this is where we're at right now. I didn't know I could produce art on tap. um, so today I'm just going to run over very quickly. We have a Patreon account. I don't know if anyone's aware of that. That will be used for the chunkier stuff that I'm going to do, the more meaningful stuff, because it may be offensive to some, so I'd rather keep it circulating amongst people that it's relevant to start with. And general hellos and readings and clips of Patreon material will then be posted on YouTube, so everyone has a good idea what's going on, and any random stuff that's not worthy of going on the Patreon will go on here. So today, and this has been bothering me for quite some time, in fact since May. In fact, it's been bothering me for years, but it's since May it's become quite acute. And that's the dangers of the unqualified diagnosis or the unqualified perspective. And there are, within the BACP Code of Ethics, or I've forgotten what it's called now, ethical framework, between in the BACP, British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy. I've said it once and I've forgotten the word again. Ethical framework. There are several principles, but the one I want to look at, the two that I want to specifically bring up today, are beneficence, which is acting for the good of the other, and non-maleficence. Now that does sound like it's saying the same thing twice, but it's not. Non-maleficence is that you make a concerted effort that any and all of your actions should be for the benefit of the individual or client at hand, not for the self, not for furthering one's career, not for any other reasons. Non-maleficence means that you will go out of your way to make sure that nothing you do has a negative impact, or as far as possible, upon the person that you are, or situation that you are trying to help. Because if you are doing that, you're not helping them, you're helping yourself. If your focus is anywhere other than what the person in the middle of the quagmire is seeing and helping them find their way out of that situation, then, or through or over, whatever term you want to use, then you are acting without beneficence and in maleficence. Like I say, helping for the wrong reasons, the internal need to act, to pacify the self, the need to do something, the need to fix everything, over meeting the individual's actual needs. I'm sure it's a globally known phrase now. It certainly was popular here due to adverts, charity adverts when I was younger. And the phrase is, give a man a fish and you will feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you will feed him, and he will feed himself and his family for a lifetime. And that's exactly what it is. Oh, there's a hungry person. If I give them something to eat, they've had something to eat, I feel better right now. But if I teach that person how to find food, how to prepare food, how to cook food, then they can feed themselves for the rest of their lives. That gives them, that empowers the person that you are helping. Giving them a fish enables them to live. Do you want to be an enabler, someone who will buy a heroin addict their next deal of heroin, someone that will give a homeless person a plate of chips? Or do you want to be that person that says, what do you need? Where do you want to be? What do you need to get you there? And what can be done to achieve that? Do you want to be the person that empowers those in need? Or do you want to be someone that enables the needy to be needy? Because that's all it is. The other danger, and it is a danger, it's a very big danger, which is often overlooked and very understated. An unqualified diagnosis or perspective or input into somebody's mental well-being, in terms of formal input into their mental well-being, if it's not accurate, then the best case scenario is that nothing will change for the person who needs the help. The best case scenario is that nothing will change. The worst case scenario is someone dies, or more than one person, but people die. The worst case scenario is death. I ask the question again. Do you want to be the person that gives someone a fish to feed them for a day and let them starve next week because you're too busy on the other side of the country? Or do you want to be the person that teaches them to fish and teaches them to make nets and teaches them to cook and about hygiene and fresh water and how to filter water with what's around them and give them life for life? Or do you just want to feel good for yourself for 5 minutes? Because I, for one, have had enough of people being the opposite. I know it affects myself, but what drives me mad is if it's happened to me, it happens to other people. I can see it. I've got some qualification. I have a good knowledge base, and I am a very logical person, so I can pick my way through these things and touch wood 99% of the time. I'm in my mid-30s now. I had an anger management problem in my teens, which isn't uncommon anyway, but I learned to put that aside because I did not want to be that person. However, the situation I'm in now, one of my major coping techniques, just as a stark example of the situation and how badly the unqualified input will affect someone's existence. I'm not painting this to be bigger than it is. I'm using myself as an example because I know how bad it can be. I've seen people die. I've lost people this way, and I'm not prepared to stand back and let it keep happening. And the dangers are, one of my major coping techniques is when I'm angry, frustrated, at the point of blowing my top, I blow a raspberry. I literally will go, hence the raspberry song. Terrible song, well, terrible performance. Good song, terrible performance. Someone else needs to redo it, or I need to redo it with a backing track. But because of what's been happening, and there's a raft of complaints that have been made against me which have been proven to be false, but they're still on record. If I am seen showing any emotion whatsoever, joy, fear, certainly anger, frustration, including blowing of raspberries and laughing at things that other people wouldn't find funny. I laugh at situations that I find to be ridiculous. So when something's gone every which way but right, and then something else happens, I laugh at that something else because the whole situation is ridiculous. Blowing a raspberry or laughing at something that I personally find a ridiculous situation, because it's not what most people, quote unquote, would do, it then gets lodged as a complaint that I'm not being very well, or maybe I'm not taking my meds, or maybe things are just getting worse. Maybe I just can't cope with being alive. And that's what's genuinely going about, is that I am absolutely crazy. And that's fine. I am crazy. I know I'm crazy. I blow raspberries when I'm pissed off because I'd rather do that than punch someone in the face. That actually is very sane. So, yes, call me crazy till the cows come home. I am an eccentric. Definitely. But the unqualified professionals, the unqualified people who have made my situation inordinately worse to the point where I can no longer stay within the county because of my anxiety being so bad now, where it wasn't an issue before at all. No one even knew I had anxiety before. Now, I can't leave the house without a problem. So, and it's all due to the ridiculous input and false allegations that's come. And because I haven't known where it's come from, I haven't known what it's been about, that then limits you and you start censoring yourself. Like I say, I don't blow raspberries. I will monitor my reactions to everything. When I'm stood in a crowd, I tend to have my hands in my pockets. Unless I've got the children with me, I've got my hands in my pockets and I'm just focusing on whatever I need to focus on, not engaging with people, because apparently I'm aggressive. So the only thing I can do is stand there doing and saying nothing. There we go. So the unqualified professional, all you do is silence people, all you do is hurt, all you do is cause more harm than good. You need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, who are you helping? And if there is no sound answer other than yourself, your well-being, for making yourself feel like the hero, then that's yours to go and figure out, because that's the wrong reason to help people. I don't go storming into a situation. This is a historical situation where I thought I had backup, actually. I thought I had the two big burly lads that were with me. I thought they were behind me every step of the way, and I pulled up and I was moving house. So there's a big van, two lads, me. And we pulled up, and the block of flats where I was moving out of, there was a mixture of elderly people and some drug addicts, and us. And when we pulled up, there was some, you could tell they were high as kites. Very tall, they were bigger than the guys I was with, having a go, and it looked like it was getting quite vicious at two of the elderly ladies. And they were arguing over propping the main door open. And without a thought, because as far as I'm concerned, this is normal human behaviour. You know, you're not going to beat up old ladies, and someone's not going to beat up old ladies in front of me and I'm going to stand back and watch. So on instinct, I go barreling into the situation, effing and blinding. I scared these two guys off. They actually ran away. It was quite funny. But I turned around expecting to see two big burly blokes behind me, and they weren't there. They were hiding behind the van. Now, I didn't go flying into that situation with a conscious thought of, I'm going to be a hero. I went flying into that situation because you should not be hurting those old ladies. And I am not going to stand for that. There's a big difference there. And I'd like everyone to contemplate that at least for five separate minutes every day. Ask yourself throughout the day, what is my motivation? And if the motivation is purely for yourself, then you need to go away and have a word with yourself. Meanwhile, I hope to see you over on Patreon. I am working on lots of good things. There will be more facial expressions and more faces as well. It's just that this is all I've got prepared at the moment. You're all awesome. Keep being awesome. Help for the right reasons. And if you need anything, then give us a shout and we'll see what we can do. Take care. Bye-bye.